The Smash Bros. Games have some of the best multiplayer around. And if you ask me, I think they have the potential to be named the best multiplayer games of all time. Now, I'm not going to reason my point, because if you clicked on this video, chances are you've played the games as well. And if you've played the games, you know what I mean. But what I will tell you is that anyone can play these games and have a blast. Even if you're facing an experienced Smash player, if you play with items on, anything can happen. And that's what I want to talk about. Items. Some items can be really freaking cheap, leading even the worst of players to victory. Have you ever wondered why professional tournaments ban items? It's because they're gimmicks that would skew the results way too much. So if professionals don't put up with items, why should we? See, growing up, I always had items turned on, and I think it's pretty safe to say that items are cheap. So naturally, that brings up the question, what are the cheapest Smash Bros. Items? Well, lucky for you, I already put a list together of my top 10 cheapest items through all the Smash Bros. Games. Enjoy! Okay, most of you probably think the Beam Sword isn't very cheap. But then again, most of you have only played the newer games. I grew up with the original Smash Bros. For N64, and let me tell you, it was a whole different story back then. Unlike the new Beam Sword that's small as hell, the original Beam Sword remained at a constant length, which was way longer than it is now. So not only did it make for a pretty cheap running A, but holy crap was it cheap as a projectile. I mean, due to its spin, it takes up tons of space. Seriously, look at this. It takes up more space than Samus's B. And adding to that, it moves faster and you can control where it goes. Yeah, the Beam Sword can be pretty cheap. Oh, can the ray gun get on my nerves sometimes. I mean, look at the skill it takes to do this. Getting a ray gun kill takes 0 skill. The worst Smash players can get kills from using a ray gun. I mean, look at this. You just gotta button smash the hell out of the A button and you get a kill. But not only does it work in the new games, but it also works in the old games. It can be hard, but you can find a way to do it. Don't worry, my brother does all the time. I think we can start to see why they took items out of professional tournaments. Okay, so we all know about the home run bat. You hit someone with it, it's a one-hit KO. Cheap as hell. Okay, how can you avoid being hit by this? It can even hit you from the freaking back. Okay, only in the old games, but still, it's a one-hit KO. One-hit KO, cheap. Okay, it's hard to execute and that's why it's number 8, okay? It would be number 1, blah, blah, blah. Okay, hammers are simply known for being cheap. I mean, if you get a hammer, you just trap people in the corner and they're done for. They jump off the edge or they get destroyed by the hammer. But the golden hammer especially is more overpowered. I mean, just look at the animation your character has when you're holding one. I think the game wants us to know they're cheap. Smart bombs aren't really known for getting KOs, but they're really good at damaging your opponent. Really, all you have to do is throw them in their general direction, and they're gonna get hit by it in some way. Its radius is so big that if you're playing on matches with multiple people, you're gonna hit everyone, especially if you're on a small map like Battlefield. And sometimes they can even get some KOs for you. Opposed to how smart bombs just give damage, bomb bombs give damage and can give you a KO. The only problem with bomb bombs is they're not very big and they're kind of hard to hit people with, and they have some time before they start running around and start destroying people. But that is another way it could be cheap. I mean, what if you and your opponent both have 1 life left, and then out of nowhere a Bob-omb comes running from the side of the screen, you don't even see him, you go flying off the edge and you lose. I would still count that as cheap. Even if the other opponent didn't throw it at you, it's still cheap. Bob-ombs are just accidents waiting to happen. Imagine if something like this was in a tournament, and it actually affected the final match of like a world championship game or something. Yeah, Bob-ombs can be cheap. Okay, cracker launchers are made to get a kill. You just spam A and your opponent's dead. I don't think I need to say anything more about this. Okay, before you say anything, I know I already put the golden hammer on this list. So how could the normal hammer be better than the golden hammer? Well, the reason I put it on this list was because the hammer in the N64 version is cheaper than the golden hammer in Brawl. So basically my reasoning has nothing to do with Brawl, just throw that out. I know it breaks in Brawl and that's why the golden hammer is better, but my reasoning has to do with the N64 version. Basically, the N64 hammer was the exact same thing as the golden hammer, except it had more of a punch to it. It's the same thing, you trap them in one corner and then you just kill them. They're dead. If you've played the N64 version, you'll know what I mean, but if you don't, you're going to be kind of confused. And I get it, but the hammer in the N64 version is better than the golden hammer. Trust me. Just imagine if you're at the temple and someone hits you all the way across the map. You should die, but since the map's so big, you stay on. And then out of nowhere, a heart container appears. Yay! Now you're not hurt anymore. Okay, I put the Smash Ball at number 1 for 2 reasons. The first reason would be because some Smash moves are one-hit KOs, and that's cheap in itself. But there's another reason that's even bigger. The main reason I put the Smash Ball at number 1 is because it's unfair. Some Smash moves are good, but some are terrible. And is it really fair if one person gets a Smash move and gets a KO, and then the next minute someone else gets a Smash move, and it does like 20 damage on everyone? It's not fair. I mean, look at Donkey Kong's Final Smash. You can just go run to the other side of the screen. Then the next second Link gets one, you just run up, press B, it's a one-hit KO. And that's why I'm putting it at number 1, because it's cheap how some people will get a kill from it, and some people won't. The Smash Ball is easily the cheapest item in Smash Bros, and that's why I usually always play with it off. Thank you all so much for watching my first video ever. If you liked it, please click the like button. It helps me out so much. And just note that this is my first video, so if you thought it was good for my first video, click the like button for that reason. Also, normally I'd be linking other videos of mine right now, but since I don't have any, all I can give you is that subscribe button. So if you want to support me or you want to see my new videos, click that subscribe button and help me get bigger.